I'm going to get you all together here, and I'm going to tell you everything you already know. And you're going to walk out of here and say, why the hell did I go to that lecture? I already knew that. And then I'm going to ask you, did you really know that? Look in the toilet at your poops. And if they're good looking, you know how to poop. But if they stink and they sink, you don't know how to poop. And guess what? You can't know how to poop till you know how to eat. Because the way you poop is linked to the way you eat. And you can't poop right until you know how to rest right. Because if you're not resting right, you can't poop right. And if you're not happy, you never poop right. Right? You can always tell who's happy because they look in the toilet. People that aren't happy don't want to look in the toilet because their life already stinks, so they don't want to look at it anymore. Right? So people always, my patients sit down and tell me, I know that, I know that. I go, do you? What are you doing here then? Maybe we ought to go out and have a nice shit together, and we'll see which one of us is healthy. Right? I've heard, I already know that 87 million times. People that know that are never in my office. Unless they're there to give me a massage, right, Rhonda? So billions and billions of dollars of cancer research, and what do we have? In the year 1900, the risk of cancer was 1 in 30. So 1 person in 30 would get cancer in the year 1900. By the year 1980, it was 1 in 5. That's pretty shocking, okay? Only 80 years, and we went from 1 in 30 to 1 in 5. By 1990, it was 1 in 4. By 1995, it was 1 in 3, and today, it's worse than 1 in 2. That means scientific evidence says that 50% of the people in this room right now, statistically, will die of cancer. Look around. Half of you are going to die of cancer. Now, what does that say about our medical success? What does that say about our billions and billions of dollars of cancer research? That doesn't say a lot to me. Well, the reality of it doesn't have to be that way. Even in today's society, there's a lot of things you can do to protect yourself against any disease. We spend $14 million a minute on healthcare in the United States, more than any country in the world, but we rank between 19th and 37th in almost every category. We are the sickest of the industrial nations in the world. This is not good, okay? When you have the most advanced weapons and the most advanced transportation systems and the sickest people running them, that should be concerning to you. I don't know if any of you ever saw this, New York Times, October the 18th, 2005, heart disease epidemic linked to red meat consumption in lions. Any of you see that report? No? Any of you see this one, escalating breast cancer epidemic among female chimpanzees? No? None of you saw that? There's a reason you never saw that. Because it isn't going to happen. It's bullshit. I made it up to make a point. Right? The point is, carnivorous animals like lions have been eating red meat since the beginning of time, and as far as I can tell, none of them ever had a heart attack. And isn't it funny that people say, oh, you can't compare yourself to a lion, you can't compare a human being to animals. Oh, have you studied any medical physiology texts or any medical textbooks at all? Almost every single thing we do with human beings is based on animal studies. And there's many similarities. There's differences, but there's many similarities. So the reality of it is, biologically, we are animals. Our bodies are animal bodies. Spiritually, we're human beings, but biologically, we're animals. So we fall into the same rules and regulations as an animal when it comes to these basic principles. You don't see giraffes watching late-night television. You don't see them, worried about whether or not the guy next door is driving a fancier car. They don't get caught in all this stuff. You don't see them reading diet books. When my researchers checked for me when I was writing the book, How to Eat, Move, and Be Healthy, I wanted to know how many books are there on diet in the United States available. 4,369 books on diet alone available in the United States. Well, that's interesting. 4,369 books on diet. I've never seen a fat lion, and they don't read any books on diet. I've never seen a fat alligator, no books on diet. I've never seen an animal in its natural environment that had any of the kind of problems that we do, and none of them even know how to read. So it seems to me that the more about diet you read, the more trouble you get into. Okay? These animals, like we used to do, are living based on what's called a closed organic cycle. The closed organic cycle basically says this: humus, which is organic matter in the soil that's been properly prepared by microorganisms. The humus and microorganisms are the foundation of the soil. They produce plant nutrition. Healthy soil is necessary for healthy plants. Animals eat plants, and animals eat each other. And the animals that are carnivorous usually eat plant-eating animals. Not a lot of carnivorous animals eat other carnivores. So lions don't eat lions, right? Dogs don't eat dogs. Wolves don't eat wolves. Usually carnivorous animals eat plant-eating animals. So the plants are actually the foundation of the health of the animals, and human beings eat animals and plants. So Sir Albert Howard said the health of any living being in this chain of being is dependent on the previous links in the chain. So man can only be as healthy as the animals and the plants, and the animals and the plants can only be as healthy as the soil. So it's very interesting for me because I lecture all over the world, literally worldwide. My wife and I make it around the world about twice a year. I don't know how many lectures I've given on health and nutrition in my life, but I've been lecturing professionally since 1988, almost non-stop. I've given thousands of lectures on these topics, and I have not yet met a single nutritionist that even knew the basics of soil science. Not even the basics. Okay? So here's a problem. What does it mean when you're prescribing vitamins and synthesized supplements, 90% of which, by the way, are manufactured by Hoffman La Roche? 90% of the vitamins sold in this country are manufactured by a drug company, and they're synthetic, which means they're processed in the body like a drug. They're not even real vitamins. Okay? So when you have people that are prescribing vitamin therapies without understanding the soil, which means you don't understand food, can you ever really cure a problem? No. And I can prove that to you. A simple experiment you can do. Go to your local pet store. Buy yourself a couple of rats, gerbils, mice, whatever you want. Buy 4 of them. Feed 2 of them whatever you're eating. Feed the other 2 nothing but water and your favorite vitamins. And see which one lives the longest. Now, if you don't want to kill the 2 rats eating the vitamins, I'll tell you what will happen. Within about a week, the ones on water and vitamins will die. And the ones eating your food will live about as long as you are going to live proportionately. And they'll probably die of the same disease you're going to die of based on your diet. But the reality of it is, vitamins are not food. They are catalysts that allow you to effectively metabolize food. A vitamin is only as good as the food you put in your mouth with it. Okay? So if you don't understand food, then you're using vitamins to fix junk food. And you can't make food better with vitamins. You understand that? Vitamins only allow you to metabolize what you eat with them. So if you're eating garbage and you take vitamins, you just get more garbage in your body. If you're eating good food, it already has vitamins in it, so it's redundant. So now you're just wasting money. Okay?